You may be getting started, or maybe you're hitting a plateau. Either way, you might be at a point where you want to learn how to exercise properly. Now, the opportunity to do so is in abundance. You may be looking for an online trainer that you can watch and learn from, or you may be looking for an in-person trainer that can guide you through your workouts. Either way, it's always a good idea to invest in your education, as it empowers us and gives us the ability to take charge and guide ourselves in the direction we want to go. Now, for those of us over 40, there are some unique things you need to be looking for when it comes to selecting a trainer. Now, I'm talking about somebody that guides you through some sort of an exercise. And that's why today I'm going to share with you 3 key steps to keep in mind when selecting a trainer for those of us that are over 40. Let's dive in. Welcome to episode 15 of the LeRock Show, where I'm here to help you get your fitness back on track at any age and regardless of your current fitness level, so you can spend more quality time with your families, have a brighter outlook on life, and finally find the true joy that life has to offer. I'm your host, LeRock. It is an amazing time and a great day to be over 40 today. I'm pumped to be hanging out with you as you continue forward in your weight loss and your fitness journey. And for those of you who are listening on Apple Podcasts today, thanks for listening, thanks for putting me in your ears, and thanks for the reviews because it really does help me get my message out there. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. I'm blessed to be able to share these tips and tricks with you each week that can help trigger some change and get you moving in the right direction. And I look forward to your comments each week because they do help guide me in the right direction for providing future content. I love to teach what I know about health and fitness, but I also love to learn as I'm a perpetual student in life. And when it comes to health and fitness, even with all my experience, my more than 37 years of experience, I am a continual learner. I'm always seeking out best practices that I can share with people. And with that, I can easily recognize the different types of trainers that are out there. And I know exactly what to look out for those of us that are over 40. But before we jump in, I'm offering you a free gift that can help you truly in your weight loss journey. One of the key things that impact our weight loss is our diet and nutrition. I had many struggles in the past with dieting, and I found myself in a state of obesity not only once, but twice. And the last time I was obese, I found the way out. And part of that was in developing my own exciting eating approach. It's called Automate Your Plate. Yes, it's an extremely unique eating approach in that it's based not only on biology, but it's also based on psychology. In fact, it puts psychology first. Yeah, I used it to lose 65 pounds in 13 weeks, and that was more than 15 years ago. I've managed to stay healthy and fit ever since. And the benefits of this eating approach is that it allows you to eat more frequently than you ever have before, all with less time and effort spent. No more hunger pains and no more confusion. It spells everything out clearly. It keeps you fueled properly for your training sessions, and it won't slow you down. Those that have tried it and have followed it correctly have had great results. Yes, I put together a free step-by-step checklist that takes you through the whole process of Automate Your Plate, allowing you to use it as your very own quick start guide so you can begin using it and benefiting from it right away. It's called the Automate Your Plate checklist. It takes everything that I talk about in my book and that I teach on this directive in my course, and it simplifies it all down into a single page cheat sheet. It's super simple and it's easy to follow. For those of you listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can get yourself a copy today at www.ethanlerock.com/automate. That's ETHANLEROCK.com/automate. You can download it today for free and start using it today. And for those of you listening on YouTube, I put a link down below. You can click on that and you can get it there. I've been personally using Automate Your Plate for more than 15 years now. And all I can say about it is that I love it. I'm offering it to you for free because I know it can help you. It can help you shed the weight and give you a consistent nutrition approach. And I know you're going to love it too. Now this week, I was thinking about those of you who are thinking of bringing this whole fitness thing to the next level. Maybe you've joined a gym. Maybe you're thinking about getting a personal trainer. Maybe you're looking for an online course maybe where you can get your education on training. Or maybe it has nothing to do with working out in a gym at all. Maybe you're thinking about starting a class, joining some sort of a class or a sport where you can get some proper training on the proper techniques so that you can start taking charge of your health and fitness. So you can start doing something physical and have some really good instruction while you're doing it. Now, when it comes to getting proper instruction, there are some key fundamental things you need to keep in mind, especially for those of us that are over 40. It's a little bit different for us. So what I did this week is I put together 3 things that you really need to look out for when it comes to selecting a personal trainer or somebody who's going to give us some sort of technical instruction and guide us through the whole process of whatever it is we're trying to learn. You see, as we get older, we really do need to be keen and selective on what we do, because failing to do so, we can find ourselves wasting a ton of time. We can find ourselves getting discouraged. And we also, worst of all, we can find ourselves getting injured in the process. So let's get right into it. I'm going to take you through the 3 steps that you should be using when selecting the best trainer for those of us that are over 40. Now, my assumption is that your goal here is to lose weight in the most effective way possible, the most safe way possible, and the most efficient way possible. So you can take back your health and fitness, so that you can live a better life, and so that you can enjoy your family more and your time that you have here more without all the aches and pains that are associated with being overweight. Now, with that being said, you're going to be wanting to look for something, some sort of activity that helps you build muscle and gets your heart rate up. Now, there are various different types of classes you can take, exercise approaches you can do, and there's really a huge variety out there. And my advice to you, as always, is to invest in yourself, in getting that education and getting a trainer that can show you how to do things properly, because it'll last a lifetime. You know, just taking that little bit of time to learn something can last you a lifetime and get you to a point where you're very self-sufficient in your health and fitness. The very first thing that I want to ask you to do is I want you to look and I want you to listen to the trainer that you're about to start investing your time with. What do they look like? Are they in the shape that you wish that you were in? Do they look like you would like to look? And the answer to that should be yes. And the reason I'm bringing this up is they need to be able to have the ability themselves to stay in shape, to get in shape and to stay in shape before they can be teaching others how they should get in shape. It's a belief I've had my whole life. If you can't do something, then you shouldn't be teaching others how to do it. Plain and simple. And it's something that I think makes a lot of sense, from a common sense approach. Do you want somebody who can barely fit in their clothes, that's spilling out, that is wearing, the gym jacket, has a clipboard, and is taking you through some steps, but they have this big giant bulge that they're hiding, and they can't get their own stuff together, but they're supposed to be teaching you how you should be getting your stuff together? Just step back and think about that. And it's easy to get, tricked into buying a fitness package from an instructor that really just doesn't know what they're really talking about. They read something in a book and they're trying to spew it out to you because it's the way they make a living, and they're trying to do the right thing, but it's just not what's best for you. And you really got to keep in mind, is this best for me? And the other part of this, the trainer should be dressed appropriately and professionally and be presentable for whatever it is you're being trained at. It should be proper. Like, that spells a lot out about the way a person is, the way they carry themselves, the way they dress. Do they take it seriously? Do they take this whole job seriously? This job of helping you as a client get to where you want to be from point A, which is now, to point Z, where you want to be. And do they know how to bridge that gap properly? Do they care? Those are really important things. Now, when they speak to you, the other thing, looking is one thing, but you really need to listen. When they speak to you, are they pleasant to listen to? Can you feel a passion in their voice when they're talking to you about your health and fitness. This passion, you just can tell. They love everything about health and fitness. And their goal is to really focus on you and get you to where you want to be. Now, some key things that you should really be looking for on top of that is, do they start out talking about safety first? Is safety the first thing that they focus on after they get to, introduce themselves to you and get to know you a little bit? Is safety one of the first things they talk about? If they don't talk about safety and they skip over it and start taking you to some training routine, now that's a sure sign you should take a step back. There's something missing from their whole training approach, and you can find yourself injured in the process. Do they take time to listen to you, right? And make adjustments in your training routine where necessary? That is a key thing. A personal trainer who just tells you what you need to be doing and never listens to you, they're setting you up for some failure. Because the feedback that they get from you, a good trainer listens to what the person that they're training says and is able to adapt and adjust things to accommodate whatever they might have. Maybe you have an ailment or an injury that you've had for a long time. You're trying to work around it. Or maybe there's some sort of a condition you have. Or maybe there's something you've tried before and it just had horrible outcome. Well, that trainer should be listening intently to you, caring about you and what you want. And always with the goal in mind, what's the best outcome can I get from my client? That's the kind of trainer you want. The other thing is, they should be taking the time to educate you on the why. Showing you the exercise, yes. Taking you through proper form and function, yes. But they should be telling you what it's affecting, how it's affecting the muscle, and why you should do it, and why they've selected it for you. They should be able to tell you that in an instant, because that's all part of proper program preparation. Another thing to look out for is the trainer looking at their cell phone constantly during the time that they're training you. Are they sitting there going, 1, 2, come on, 4 more, 3, 4, 6 more. Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. And they're scrolling on their cell phone and checking out what's going on. If that's happening during your training session, no matter what kind of training you're getting, then step back and say, you know what? Enough's enough. I've had enough of this. And you can always find another trainer. Because what that tells you is they really don't care. They'd rather be somewhere else. They are not connected to you. I've trained many people in the past when I used to do one-on-one training. And there was this one-on-one connection that I would have with my client. And it's just this, you feel like you're one and you want them to win. You want them to succeed at this whole weight loss thing. You want them to get the biggest muscles they can get in the shortest amount of time and be able to do it, get in there and get out and feel amazing when they get out. There's this connection that you have. And if you have a personal trainer who's constantly gawking at their phone, going over and talking to their buddy that works at the gym, or paying attention to some other client and then coming back to you, and you're like an afterthought and you feel neglected in the process, then that's when you should step away and say, thank you, but I'm going to get myself a different trainer. That's what you need to do. Another key thing to look out for is, do they show up on time? Are they taking you seriously? Are they appreciating and respecting how valuable your time is? Or do they come in and they have some sort of bumbling excuse and they just kind of walk right over you and say, oh, come on, let's go. I know I'm a little bit late, and get you moving along your way. They need to take things seriously. You should be important to them. And that'll be a sure sign. If they're coming up late all the time, then, no matter how good they are, maybe they're not worth waiting for. And 2 things that I think you really need to look out for is, number 1, if a trainer ever talks down to you in any way, then right away stop the workout and just leave. You do not need to put up with any kind of being talked down to from any kind of a trainer. I've seen it. I've trained in gyms for years and years and years. And I've seen great trainers, amazing trainers full of passion who care. But I've also seen trainers who are kind of abusive to the people they're training. They are snide. They have short one-word answers. And you can just tell they don't really like the person they're training. There's something going on. When that's happening to you, you do not need to accept that type of behavior. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, you need to avoid trainers that want to constantly talk about personal stuff. You know, you're going through your training session and they're constantly trying to ask you questions that'll get you talking about your life, get you talking about politics, get you talking about the family, get you talking about something that happened last night on television, get you talking about anything so you can just kind of sit around, you're not moving, and you're just gabbing with your fitness instructor. I've seen this too many, many, many times. And what's happening is you're paying that person basically to talk to them. You know, you're paying them just to chitter chat with, when really it should be focused. They should be looking at you. They should be reading the signs that you're giving off. They should be watching how the workout's affecting you, and they should be adjusting accordingly throughout the workout to make sure you're getting every single use of that time, that it's all being value added time that you're getting, because it's your money. You're spending money on these trainers, and you should be making sure that you are getting your money's worth. So now that we've gone through that, you know, we've gone through the way that they look, the way that they sound, and all the basic things. These are real basic things that I just talked you through. The second thing that's really important is you need to look and ask yourself, is that trainer over 40? This is an often overlooked trait. You need to look and you need to understand, is the trainer that you're about to select over 40 or under 40? If the trainer is significantly under 40 and you're over 40, okay, then there's really some key things you need to keep in mind. They might have some great fundamental knowledge on the proper way to exercise, a proper way to eat. They may have some amazing results. You may look at them, like in step 1, I said, look at the trainer. You may look at them and think, wow, that's amazing. The problem is they may be 20, 24 years old, somewhere in there. Maybe they're under 30. And they just are, they have a totally different advantage that you don't have. They have the advantage of youth. It's true. They can build muscle quicker. They're usually full of testosterone. They heal very quickly. And they build, like, it's just amazing. They have an amazing advantage. And the problem with that is, as you're training, as you're following their guidance, you may be expecting that you're going to look like them, that you're going to end up just like them if you keep on doing all the things that they're showing you. And the problem is, it can be very discouraging, because there are big changes that happen when you pass 40. Your hormones change. You know, I think I've talked about that. I talked about that before in a past video, where your testosterone levels can drop. And for women, you have issues with your estrogen as well. And it can change a lot of things. It can change the way you carry your body fat. It can make it much harder for you to lose body fat. It can make it harder for you to gain muscle. And there are a lot of disadvantages. So, you know, it's very, I'm putting it lightly and I'm putting it generally, but a younger person, it's pretty easy for them to lose weight and get pumped and get muscular and look great. It's not so easy for an older person, someone over 40. So why am I saying this is important? Well, if you select a trainer who's over 40 and looks the way you would like to look, they have a small waist maybe, they have bigger muscles, they're able to carry some muscle mass, they've managed to, their skin looks good, they managed to just maintain their health and fitness over the age of 40, well, who better to go to get your training than from someone like that? And they do exist. You know, there's personal trainers out there that are over the age of 40. They know exactly what you're going through. They know about the aches and pains. They know about the joints that hurt. They know about the stubborn belly fat that doesn't want to come off the bottom of your abs. They know about the love handles. They know about all the things that we deal with. Ladies, they know about the hot flashes that you go through. For the female trainers that are over 40, they can kind of know what you're going through, and they can be patient in the process, and they can also gear your workouts and your nutrition based on your age. They know what to do with that. Whereas The younger folks, they're going to show you everything they know that's based on science. It's based on what that they know up until that point in their life. And the problem there is if they're taking you through a workout that is geared towards anybody, like someone like themselves, they can end up injuring you in the process because your joints and your tendons are different. They're a little older, so they don't take the abuse as well as someone who's young. And I see a lot of these younger people, they're taking people to levels that are just too far. They're putting too much weight on the load, or they're making them do really quick movements where they're jumping and slamming. And none of that is good for the body when you're getting up there in years. And if you do decide to go with a younger trainer, you decide that you want to trust in them and you want to be trained by a younger person, there's nothing wrong with that. There are great young trainers out there. You just need to be cautious about it. But the one thing you really need to be cautious about is, again, when you look at that trainer who's younger in age, if they're jacked up on some sort of illegal steroid, for example, and they're just gigantic, more than most human beings can be on, naturally, your gut will tell you when you look at them. You need to be very cautious about that because they're very impressive to look at. They're very exciting to be around. And it's a very attractive thing when you see somebody who's very well developed and muscular and all full of veins and everything. But if your gut is telling you that just something about it isn't right, that this person, it's not normal. It's like, I'm talking about people that are like bodybuilders that are doing shows and they're getting themselves to that elite level. They're not natural trainers. You need to watch out what you're doing there because they have no clue what it's like to be you. They don't know what it's like to be over 40, number one. And number two, they don't know what it's like to train naturally and the struggles that a natural trainer goes through. So, I'm not saying that they have a bad intent again. There are great people that decide to go down that route too. But I'm just looking out for you. I'm thinking about what's best for you for getting good instruction on how to lose weight effectively and keep it off for a long period of time. Who's going to get you there the best? That's what I'm talking about today. So the third thing that I'm going to talk about, and the last thing, the third step, is look at their credentials. And I left this for last for a reason. Credentials are not the end all be all, okay? Like I said, somebody could have degrees in kinesiology. They can have the latest and greatest fitness certification that's out there, okay? And they could be built terribly, and they could be out of shape, and they could be living a very poor life, but have amazing credentials. But with that being said, it is very good to look for someone's credentials when you're going to get trained by them, okay? It gives you an idea of how dedicated and committed they are and how educated they are on what they're about to teach you. It's only common sense. And it's not rude to ask for someone's credentials. So if you're thinking about getting training, and it's not just gym, okay? You could be looking to get trained in yoga, okay? You could be looking to get trained in dance. You could look to be getting trained in hockey, whatever it might be. That person who knows that sport, who knows how to work out, who knows how to do CrossFit, who knows how to do HIIT training, who knows how to do all these different things, skiing, whatever it might be. I don't know where you're located, but there's many, many, many physical activities out there. Tennis, whatever it might be. They should have some sort of credentials, These are one of the boxes you want to check. And, it's important that you don't be shy about it. That you just say, yeah, okay, I'm interested in taking this training thing before I buy the fitness package that you've put in front of me, whatever. Can you tell me what your credentials are? Tell me a little bit about yourself. And some of those credentials are going to be certifications. They may be some sort of education. Heck, you might meet someone like me who's written a book on the subject. But you just want to ask the question and don't be afraid to ask the question. And if you do have a trainer and they can't come forward with anything, and they say, well, I've got this, this certification that the gym gave me. I went through a 5-week program and they taught me about proper exercise and nutrition. And now I'm out here and they threw me out in the middle of this floor, and I'm going to instruct people on how they should change their lives, how they should build muscle, and how they should eat properly with very little guidance. Like, that's what you need to look out for. You don't want to go to a place and get training from somebody who doesn't have the proper credentials. And obviously, when you look at them, like in step 1, you can tell that they're not following anything they're trying to teach you. So yes, for those of you who are looking to exercise in a gym, I'm talking to you specifically right now, big box gyms. Be very skeptical and cautious of the trainers that are trying to sell you fitness packages. They do get certifications from the gyms. Many of them do. The gym has its own certification program they develop. And part of that developed program is how to sell fitness packages to clients, because that's the number one goal in these big box gyms. Now, there's nothing wrong with a personal trainer trying to make a living and trying to sell fitness packages. There's nothing wrong with that. But it really should be coming from here. It should be coming from the heart. It should be a passion that they have in life. They should have your best interests in mind. It should be based on science. It should be based on what they've learned, okay? And it shouldn't just be something that was thrown together with an emphasis on how many packages I can sell, because that's what a lot of the gyms are doing. They'll sell you a big package of 20 workout sessions or whatever it is for some ridiculous amount. You'll buy the sessions, and then at that point, they're like, I really don't care. I really don't have nothing to prove. And you can tell when that's happened to you, and sadly it happens more often than not. It's really a sad thing, because a lot of people just quit. They don't show up for the rest of the sessions, but they paid for them all. And have fun trying to get your money back when you're trying to get back from some of these gyms. Get the money back. It's a real sad thing. But there are great instructors out there as well. And even in the big box gyms there are. So yeah, ask for the credentials. Maybe there's something else. Maybe they've got the training in the gym, but they just have a love and a passion for fitness, and they've done other things, and they can share that with you as well. So those opportunities are there, and take them when you can. And other than gyms, say you want to take a yoga class, like, look at what you're walking into. You know, does the person have credentials? What level are they at? How are they carrying themselves? How are they living their lives? For example, with yoga, part of it is, number one, you want to be getting some sort of a physical challenge, right? And you want to be able to get your heart rate up. But the other aspect of yoga is you want to be at peace. You want to find some calmness. You want to find some clarity in your life. You want to be mindful and present in the moment. And if the person who's instructing you is a basket case and they're all over the place and they're showing up late to the yoga session, right? Like I talked about earlier, and they don't have their stuff together and they're nervous and they're jittery and they're all over the place, then it doesn't say it's a bad person. It just says that maybe they're not the best person to be providing you instruction on how to do your tasks that you need to do. You know, like it's common sense. Same thing with any sport. Any sports you want to join, or if you want to join a dance class, what kind of credentials does that dance instructor have? Have they actually participated in dance of any kind? And most good dance instructors will have all kinds of credentials, more than you'll want to see, to show you. But every once in a while, you get a scammy one out there who really doesn't know what they're doing, and they like taking your money, and they'll take you through. And the other thing is, a lot of this dance is amazing. It's an amazing way to exercise. But a lot of these dance classes, they milk you for everything you got. They want you to buy the outfits. They want you to, participate in all these events, and it's crazy. I highly would advise that you go to a studio that's simple, that isn't going to try to milk you for all your money. There's nothing wrong. If you can afford that, there's nothing wrong with doing it. But it's something that you need to keep in mind. Because without proper credentials, again, you can end up not learning very much, and you can end up injured in the process. So in summary, the 3 key steps to take away from today's episode is, when it comes to selecting your trainer, you need to look at them and listen to them and observe everything and make your decisions based on what you're seeing and what you're hearing. The second thing you want to keep in mind is, are they of similar age to you? If you're over 40, are they over 40? That way you can really gear in and you can take a look and say, hey, do they know what they're talking about? And hey, they do look like I want to look. So I wouldn't mind learning from them. And be cautious of the younger trainers that are out there. They may have great intentions. They may really want to get you to where you want to be, but they haven't been where you are, okay? And there's an advantage to somebody who's over 40, who's training people that are over 40. They get it, and they can show you safely and effectively how to get where you want to be. And the third thing is credentials. You want to make sure whoever's training you has the credentials to do so, has the knowledge and experience to do so, because if you don't check that, then you may be getting led down a path and end up with no results at all. So if you don't have a good knowledge on health and fitness, okay, you don't have very much experience with working out or how to eat properly, I would highly advise that you do take the time and find yourself a trainer, someone that can show you the ropes, someone that can walk you through the process. Or you might want to look online for an online course. Doesn't have to be my course, but there's many courses out there that can show you an approach that you're not aware of, that you've never seen. And they can step you through and show you and guide you along the way. It's always a good thing to educate yourself. It's a great investment. Give someone a fish and they can eat for a day, is the saying. Teach someone to fish and they can eat for a lifetime. And speaking of eating, if you're looking for a new diet, a new eating approach that can help you shed the weight quickly, but more importantly, can help you keep it off for a lifetime, I've developed an eating approach that I talk about. It's called Automate Your Plate. It's super easy to follow. You could eat more often than you ever have before, all with less time and effort spent. I used it, 15 years ago, I used it to lose 65 pounds in 13 weeks. And I've maintained a great physique ever since. And that's why I wrote a book about it. That's why I teach it online, because I want to get the message out there for all the people that are struggling and need to lose weight. Now, I put together a checklist. It's called the Automate Your Plate checklist. It's a free download that you can download today. I'm not selling you anything. And it will step you through the entire process of automating your plate. It's a free diet that you can try out. You may love it, maybe you won't. But those that I've shown it to and have used it correctly have had great results. And like I said, those of you listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can pick it up at www.ethanlerock.com/automate. And those of you on YouTube, you can click the link below and you can get it there. And I'm really interested on how maybe working out with a trainer has affected you, whether it was a good thing or a bad thing. So when you start using a trainer, or maybe if you've already used one in the past, I wouldn't mind you dropping me a few comments, telling me how it all worked out for you, some of the pros, some of the cons, some of the great things that came out of it, or maybe some of the bad things that you've noticed and things you can share with the community so they can avoid going through what you went through. I hope today's episode was of some benefit to you, and I hope it helps you to make an informed decision. Either way, I'm here each week to coach you from afar, and I'm glad you're taking things seriously and making the changes you need to happen to get you where you want to be. Have an awesome remainder of the week, and until we meet again, stay healthy, be happy, and live your life with intention every single day.